We do something else too, though.
Good
Thank
evening, Learning Journey. We'd like to welcome you to another night of the Healing Journey Support Group for the loved ones of those incarcerated, those recently arrested. And you know what? Whatever you're going through tonight, we're glad to be able to reach out to you. We're here to advocate, educate, support, and motivate you along this journey that we're on together. You are not alone. I am still on this journey with you, and Lee is still on the journey with you, but in a different capacity. And that's what we're going to talk about this evening. Welcome, Lee.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, Lynn. We're on another day's journey, but it's all good. And I'm just excited to be here this evening. And we thank everyone for joining us and coming along with us as we encourage them.
Exactly.
We get encouraged from them as we encourage them. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for being with us.
You're so welcome, Lee. I'm just glad that we have this opportunity to come in front of everybody again because there's so much information that we like to give you. And, we want to tell you about something that happened to us this weekend. Well, I went to see my son, and Lee has a loved one in the same facility. So when we got there, I was not allowed to go in. My visitation was jeopardized because of the fact that knee replacement. And I was told at the last minute that the policy had changed, that I had to have a medical card. Well, I do have a medical card, but I challenged them as well. When did this change? Why wasn't I notified? I don't have to have a medical card for the TSA. So why do I need one here when you just gave me a complete full body scan? And you had me go through the other scanner. So how did this change? Well, the warden changed it. Well, the warden needs to let us know when things change so we can be prepared. Imagine traveling that length to see your loved one for only 2 hours, and then that might be jeopardized. So know your rules, know what's going on, be updated, and don't be afraid to challenge. Lee also had an issue with her family member not being allowed entry based on something that is not in the policy, that is not in the rules there, that we saw. Now, it could have been posted somewhere else, but we went to the visitation rules for South Carolina, and it was nowhere listed in there. So this morning, I made sure that I made a phone call to speak to the authorities there and let them know, the person in charge, I need to know what's going on because this was challenging and it was unfair. Think how many people are not allowed to come in that don't carry a medical card. My mother had a hip replacement, so I had to let her know the next time she needs a medical card in reference so she doesn't go 7 hours and then can't see him. So these are the challenges that we encourage you to research, and we try to give you as much information as possible. But whenever something happens to you, don't stand by. Always make sure that you call the warden or the assistant warden and find out information, because remember, you're not just changing things for yourself, you're helping the next person in line. And my shirt says, "We rise when we lift others." So Lee and I believe in lifting others up. And Lee, how did you feel about that challenging time on Saturday morning at, should I say, at Oh Dark 100? It was early and cold.
Yes,
So,
yes, it was. Thankfully enough, she allowed. Uh, what happened was my sister was with me, and she had on a hoodie, pull over your head hoodie, and because it was a hoodie, they said that she had to have a shirt underneath there. Well, that is a shirt. It just has a hood on the back. So they said she had to have a shirt underneath there. And I said, well, can I take my shirt off? Because I had a shirt underneath the blouse that I had because I stay cold all the time. So I said, can I take my shirt and give it to her? Which she did allow. Now, there's been other circumstances where it was different, but she did allow it. I gave my sister the shirt and she was able to put it underneath the hoodie, and we were allowed to enter, which was good. But there here Yeah, there's so many times that things are so different. I encourage you to always have a change of clothes in your car. I go standard, the same outfit each time. They challenged me one time with a top. I had a top that with the zipper. I couldn't enter, but my sister and my cousins, my nephews entered. So I stayed in the car that time and stuff. But as Lynn said, don't be afraid to ask questions and speak to someone higher. And even with making a phone call, when you make a phone call the following day or week or so, follow up with a letter so that you can set a paper trail so that things can change. And if they are in the right, they can let you know. And if they're not, they can make it right so that you will not feel the way that we felt when you come to visit your loved one. Because most times, as Lynn said, it's a pretty bit of a journey. My travel was 2 hours,
Hmm.
and be turned away like that, it's a little bit, it it's awful.
It is.
Lack
It
of
is. It's an awful situation. You're right, Lee. You feel helpless, and my thing is, if a policy has changed, let every visitor know within 48 hours so they can make changes accordingly. These are the things that we ask. So, for Lee and I, it is to write the ombudsman and make sure that that is in the rules now. So, Lee and I are going to make sure that these changes are listed in the visitation rules because the visitation policies, we researched it, and those things are not in there. So we're going to make sure that for South Carolina, those things are changed and upfront so everybody can realize, if their medical devices or things like that, this needs to be present. You need to have this because a lot of times they will not allow you to go back to your car and get the necessary documentation or to change your clothes and things of that nature. So make sure that you are researching for your state what's allowed and what's not allowed, and don't try certain things, like if those pants fit you like leggings, that is not allowed. Certain things, no sleeveless tops and things of that nature, those aren't allowed. So be aware of those rules, and that can cut down a lot because you know what, our loved ones are sitting there waiting for us. They're waiting for us to get that Cuban sandwich out of that machine and that iced tea or whatever they like. And they're waiting for that hug. They're waiting to see you. So make sure that you do check. And, we got to make sure we don't get indignant and we don't get
right.
angry with them, but you can challenge in a diplomatic manner and make sure that you do follow up, as Lee said, with that phone call. Yeah. So just wanted to make sure. So we wanted to talk about today. There is so much going on, so many changes, and my God, it's just everywhere you look. So we're embracing uncertainty.
Hmm.
And when we embrace uncertainty, it affects our mental health. So understanding and overcoming the fear of the unknown in times like these. Everything is changing, so you best believe things will be changing maybe in the system. And that's fear of the unknown. What's going to change, you know? And this affects individuals from all walks of life. It's a natural thing to have um it's a natural response to uncertainty and change, and often that can manifest in anxiety and stress or hesitation. This fear can inhibit your personal growth, your decision making principles, and it can prevent you from seizing new opportunities. So, there is some fear associated with the unknown. Understanding and overcoming this fear, it's essential for leading and fulfilling a resilient life. We have to be resilient. We got to get back up on the trail and brush ourselves off and do this again.
Yeah.
But we have to understand. Lee, would you like to talk about understanding the fear of the unknown and the nature of fear?
I feel that it's important that we do talk about that because a lot of what we're going through leads to that topic or that subject that we we are talking about today, fear, because you just don't know. When you're uncertain, you don't know what's going to happen next. It's tough to prepare if you don't know what's coming tomorrow or so. But
Mhm.
the thing with it is, we have to find ways to not worry about tomorrow and deal with the now, because tomorrow is going to take care of itself. So I feel it's important that we talk on tonight, and I think that it would be appreciated from our audience, because they too are going through some things of fear. Our economy, our entire world, we're
Yeah.
going places of uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
Know what's going to happen. So it affects all of us, even everyone in every walk of life. Affected. So we have to deal with those things so that we can be without some of that anxiety and that fear that we go through and stuff. It also leads to depression. I
Yeah.
go through a little depression with the winter time stuff. So I come to my friend Lynn and say, "Girl, I need you to
Yeah.
talk through this and stuff, because sometimes I get into a little dark. I just need her to talk me through it, and I thank God for it, because she does just that. Sometimes she's a little stern. Sometimes she'll give it to me smile and stuff, but she gets me through. So
Yeah.
I'm thankful.
Thank you, Lisa. When we talk about the nature of fear, it arises from a lack of information, unfamiliarity, and the unpredictability of future events. So when we look at the social justice system, it's unpredictable. We don't know what's going to happen right now. We don't know what's going to happen. So that can cause us to be fearful about, our loved ones, and, we can't predict things. So, yes, that causes the stressors. And what we try to do is give you information on certain things. So then, you don't have a lack of. You have the information, but you may have to research it for your city. So, the nature of fear has psychological roots. You fear, will your loved one get sentenced to this? You fear where they're going to be. You fear for their safety. Think about the nature of fear and the psychological roots. So, uncertainty, humans have an inherent need for predictability and control. You know how you like to control things, you know how you like to predict things, but we have that nature for that. So, when faced with uncertainty, the lack of information can cause you to become anxious, and that anxiety is not good for you. Some anxiety is good, but when it goes up to a level and it's heightened, then it's not good for you. Also, past experiences, negative experiences or failures in the past can amplify your fear of encouraging and encountering similar situations in the future. You may have had another loved one in the system, or a friend who had a loved one in the system, and you're focused on that negative experience from the past. And that can amplify your stressors and what you're going through, where your loved one's experience might be totally different. Social conditioning, cultural and societal influences can shape our perceptions of risk and uncertainty, often reinforcing fear. There's so much now with our loved ones coming out, not being able to get a job, not being doing this. So that can amplify things right there. Also, imagination. The human mind tends to fill gaps in knowledge with worst case scenarios, exacerbating fear. We always building these stories in our mind and these movies. Well, this could happen, that could happen. We're exacerbating fear. So we have to just stop, stay in the moment, bring it in the moment, not go back here, not go over here. Stay in the moment, in the present. And that's going to help with the anxiety and fear. There are some kind of common manifestations with fear of the unknown. It can manifest in certain ways. There could be avoidance, avoiding new experiences, opportunities, or challenges, because you know what? You might not feel safe. This, think about our economy. Think about everything that's going on in the realm of things. Do you feel safe right now? So that can exacerbate fears as well. Procrastination, delaying decisions or actions due to uncertainty about outcomes. Well, people are, well, I'm going to wait and see what happens and this and that. Well, that can all induce fear. And that's the common manifestations right there. Anxiety and stress, experiencing heightened levels of anxiety and stress when faced with unfamiliar situations. This whole situation is unfamiliar. It's all unfamiliar to you. And this is something that, you know, can cause this. And then there's self doubt. You're doubting your ability or potential when confronted with new challenges. You're doubting yourself. How am I going to deal with this? Your loved ones getting ready to come out. They're faced with fears as well. Fear of the unknown. They're faced with fear of judgment. Well, guess what? You're attached to them. So could that represent a fear in you as well? Because they know that that person is your loved one. So you're going to be judged just as much as them. And it depends on certain felonies and things and charges that they have. So there's fear of the unknown. So when we talk about how to overcome, there are certain strategies that we can do. And Lee, would you like to go over some of the strategies?
Well, I one thing that I know that we talk about and we do is peaceful or mindfulness. Now, and this is something that you talk to me about too, and I listen and stuff, and I say, "Well, wait a minute, what the devil is mindfulness?" Because I'm not sure what she's telling me to do, what we're talking about here and stuff. I think that's important that let's just maybe define it. And it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. And mindfulness is a practice of being aware of your body, your mind, and your feelings in the present moment. The thoughts to create a feeling, and that's why I say it's simple because that's pretty much all it is. But sometimes when we dress things up and use a different word, it seems a little bit bigger than what it is. But there are techniques such as meditation and deep breathing that can help the grounded in the present moment. And that's where you talk about this mindfulness. And we focus on the now. And the individual can reduce some of the anxiety when you do that about the future, and you can gain some clarity about the uncertain situations when, as Lynn said, you stay right here in the moment. Don't go over here to the future. You don't bring the past and stuff. Just stay focused into right now, and we'll have that mindfulness that we need to have in order to get the fear and the anxiety and some of that worrying that we go through with these uncertainties.
Yes, thank you, Lee. So you must first embrace uncertainty.
Hmm.
When you embrace uncertainty, embrace it as a source of possibility rather than a threat. You can transform fear into curiosity and excitement. But you always pick the negative. So look at it in a different way. Now, this fear is here. We know fear stands for false evidence appearing real. So we're going to embrace this fear and we're going to put an excited spin on it. Okay. And this involves first acknowledging that the uncertainty is there, it's inherent, and it is a part of life, that it can lead to growth and new opportunities. That's how I want you to look at it. Okay, it's here. Well, there's a new opportunity or something lurking around that I need to embrace. Then we're going to seek information.
Hmm.
When there's uncertainty, we need to seek information. So, gathering information and knowledge about the unknown can reduce your fear. It can reduce it. Okay, well, I got the information. This is factual information. So, wow, now I know what's going on. Researching, asking questions, and seeking advice from others can provide a sense of control and preparedness. So, we're on here. When we come on, we like to give you information. We ask you, what are some questions? What are some things you're dealing with? So we can help you, and that can reduce your fears as well. Control, a sense of control and preparedness. We can prepare you for what's coming. Just let us know. We can help you for what's coming. Just let us know. We will try our best. If we don't have the information, we will get back to you with that information. And then set realistic goals. How many times do you set goals, but they're not realistic? like you're going to save $10,000 by Friday. We know good and well that, that may not be realistic, but a realistic goal is breaking down the big goal, the larger goal, into smaller tasks. And when you do it that way, then it's attainable and achievable. And that can build confidence and provide a clear path forward. Think about when you achieve that goal. I know you feel good, because I know I feel good when I achieve a goal. By Thursday, I finished. I'm like, okay, I did everything I set out to do this week. I got all my clients together. I feel good. I accomplished that goal. So there was some fear at times that I can't do this, can't do that, but I did it. So that's what I break down into smaller tasks. And then challenge your negative thoughts, as I said before. You know, if I ask you to give me your strengths, nobody can think about that. But as soon as I say, give me your negative things that you need to work on, when the negative comes in, rattle it off 1, 2, 3. So we have to start focusing on the positive qualities and reframing these negative thoughts. Reframe them and think about it differently. Now, you know what? My mind wanted to immediately take me to fear, but I'm going to look at that as an opportunity for growth. I'm going to look at that differently and reframe it. So that is one thing that is helpful. And then, Lee, when we talk about building resilience, building resilience is the key to overcoming fear. We can't lie down and turn over and play dead. We have to get up, don't we, Lee?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And we got to involve ourselves, and we got to adapt to the change.
Change. Yes. Yes. And that is one thing that is so hard for people to do. It is adapting to change and recovering from the setback. This is a setback for us. When our loved ones are incarcerated, it's a setback financially, setback emotionally. Every aspect of it seems like it's a setback. So we have to maintain a positive outlook. This too shall pass. We will get through it. Building that resilience, can be achieved through practices such as self-care, supportive relationships, and a growth mindset. Supportive relationships is so important, because when you're going through, the last thing you want is to be around negative energy.
Right.
I can't be around the negative energy. You want positive energy. You want people that are going to uplift you. So stay away from the negative energy. You're
Okay.
not building resilience with that. Then when we look at the support system, there's a role in our support systems, family and friends. We got to lean on them sometimes, lean on them. Hey, I need you. I'm having a problem getting through this and getting over it. I need you. So, when you're faced with uncertainty and the fear of the unknown, lean, lean, lean. That can help alleviate those feelings of isolation and maybe provide a new perspective, and you're looking at it differently. Change your lens. Let's look at things differently. Wow, I didn't think about it that way. And then if you're still having a problem, seek out professional help. It's always good to get some counseling
Yeah.
so they can show you in therapy interventions that can help you, that can change that mindset. And that is what's good. Then community and social norms, engaging with community groups.
Hmm.
There are several churches that have several ministries that may be able to help you. There are also group therapy. There are also so many groups online. All you have to do is Google University, and it will show you what's available in your area that may be a blessing to you. So the fear of the unknown it's a common yet manageable aspect of the human experience. Talking with my loved one, there was a fear of the unknown. You
Hmm.
know, I've been in here for a while. I don't know what the outside is like. There's a fear of the unknown, how to navigate being judged, social pressures, getting a job. These are all of the fears and uncertainties that your loved ones are dealing with as well. So if you're both dealing with it, it's good for you to face those fears so you can help your loved one get through those fears as well. Overcoming fear of the unknown opens the doors to personal growth. new experiences, and a richer and more fulfilling life. Lee, would you like to say anything about the fear of the unknown? And
Well, I want to do my checklist now because I'm listening to you and I'm taking notes here so that I can make sure I got everything. Now we're going to embrace the uncertainties.
mm-hmm,
We're going to seek information.
mm-hmm,
We're going to challenge our negative thoughts.
mm-hmm,
We're going to build resistance.
mm-hmm,
Okay. We're going to look for family,
mm-hmm.
uh, friends, and we're going to have technical help as well as seek the community and social network, right?
Gotcha.
Okay. I want to make
Good.
sure I open
You
there.
got it, Lee. And don't forget, break down bigger tasks into smaller, manageable
Right.
pieces. That is the biggest thing. That how am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Well, let's take one thing at a time and let's break it down. When we do it that way, it's achievable and attainable. So that is what we want to just focus on there, embracing uncertainty, seeking that information. People perish for a lack of knowledge and information. So there are ways to confront that fear. And as we just said, those are the ways to confront it. We have some questions or some comments that we want to bring in. And it's positive vibes only. Yes, you have to stay away from negative energy. That is going to bring you down. And then building resilience is the key to overcoming fear. Yes, it is. Thank you. And then, false evidence appearing real, as we said, those are the acronyms for fear. False evidence appearing real. And what happens? You let it in, you make it into a catastrophe, you blow it up, and it spreads throughout your body. You become anxious, and it's really not good for you. So remember that. And then changes should be known. Yes. Changes, we have to be able to change with what's going on. Changes need to be made when we're facing uncertainty. So that is something that we need to do. So we just thank you for being with us this evening. I think Lee got knocked off. So we thank you all for being with us this evening. And we wish you a great week. Remember, we're a nonprofit 501c3. We thrive off of grants and off of donations so we can help others. And we are actively helping others. People are calling us and asking us questions about the system and how do they do this and how do we do that. So we are actively helping people. We're a community agency organization, should I say. We're out in the community and we're good vibes only. We will uplift you as much as we can, inform you and educate you and motivate you. That's what this group is about. We want to motivate you. So, you can't give up. We've come this far and keep going on the trail. We can do it, and we're here to lift you up. My shirt says, we rise by lifting others. So Lee and I lift others, and that's what it's about. So we thank you, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.